Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Henry Winkler.
And anyone else online, happy to have you here. The time is 6 o'clock. Calling to order the Duncanville Special City Council meeting, Tuesday, August 31st, 2021. In accordance with an order of the Office of the Governor issued on March 16th, 2020, is extended, the City Council for the City of Duncanville, Texas will conduct the City Council special meeting in person and by video conference at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, August 31st, in order to advance the public health goal of limiting face-to-face meetings in an effort to slow the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. This is an open meeting conducted by in-person and video conference. Due to limited seating in council chambers, participants may attend via video conference to maintain safe social distance in this notice. To speak during the citizen comment portion via Zoom, you must have registered with the city secretary before 4 p.m. this date, and title your comment public comment August 31st. And during citizen comments during the agenda period, the city secretary may call your name to allow access to your camera and microphone to provide your comments. Okay, we have called ourselves to order. Audiences via Zoom is in listen mode only. However, the citizens who registered to speak with the city secretary by the 4 p.m. deadline will be allowed to speak, and their microphones will be turned on by our city staff. The first thing that we're going to do is go into executive session. And ladies and gentlemen that you're viewing or out there in the council chambers, we're going to conduct executive session here in the briefing room. And then after the executive session concludes, we will move into council chambers. So with that, I'm going to read the executive session introduction, and then we're going to close this room to citizens. City Council shall convene to close executive session pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Govt Code to seek legal advice from the city attorney regarding pending litigation, to wit: 1. City Council shall convene to close executive session pursuant to 551.071 to seek legal advice from the city attorney concerning a claim and or notice of damage to personal and or real property located at 1726 Green Tree Lane, Duncanville, Texas 75136, in accordance with section 10.05 of Home Rule Charter and chapter 101.001 at sequitur, the Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code. So with that, any citizens present, please excuse yourself from this room.
Someone get to it. You guys, the finance department.
And we are recessing city council at 6:03. We are reconvening city council session for August the 31st, 2021. Timestamp is 6:33. Item number 1 on citizens input pursuant to section 551.007 of the Texas Govt Code. Any member of the public has the opportunity to address the city council concerning any matter of public business or any posted agenda item. However, the act prohibits the city council from deliberating any issues not on the public agenda, and such non-agenda issues may be referred to the city staff for research and any future action. All persons addressing are subject to council adopted rules and limitations permitted by law. Any comments have been, now I have 2 written comments. City Secretary, any individuals online?
IT, is there anyone online with their hand raised? No, sir.
Negative. There are no citizens online. I have 2 written comments that I will read into the record then. And doing them in chronological order. The first one I have is undocumented by any individual's name or address or contact information. There is no email, no telephone number, no name. Subject: incoming city council tax decrease meeting. Stated, quote, in addition to the above decrease, has the city of Duncanville considered a school tax cut for seniors as other cities have done, as the inflated parens recent closed parens ceiling has only offered very little relief to seniors. Thank you for your consideration. P.S. Please present above for consideration by City Council. Second item I have is from Patricia Ebert, 115 South Greenstone Lane, 75116. City Secretary Downs, please have the mayor or his designate read my public comment. I request that Interim Police Chief Mark Lavigny's solid mitigating strategies to curb vehicular break-ins and thefts be uploaded to the Police Department's Facebook page, which has thousands and thousands of views. Concerned about the spike of both car break-ins and car thefts the last 2 months, parens, this past week, 9 of 20 crime reports were motor vehicle theft, closed parens. I have been emailing all city councilmen the weekly crime reports relative to car break-ins and car thefts. I thank Councilman Mac Burnett, who forwarded my emails to the city manager and to Interim Police Chief. Interim Police Chief Lavigny's strategies need to be available to all of us via Facebook and other city communications. Patricia Ebert. City Manager, do you have any comment?
Mayor, when it comes to, and I think Ms. Jennifer, as we've presented, and we talk about our taxes, especially when it comes to your property tax, we do not, the school tax are not under our jurisdiction, and as we often say, that only a small fraction of your overall property tax bill is determined by the city council, and so the schools have the ability to determine their own, and they have a board which oversees that taxing entity. So I just want to let the citizens know that, yes, we have only oversight over the city's portion of the tax, but none over the school tax, or the community college, or the community public hospital district. So those in Dallas County, those are all independent of us.
Very good, thank you. Moving on in our agenda, items for individual consideration. Item 2A, consider an ordinance approving and adopting a budget for the city for the fiscal year October 1, 2021 through September 30, 2022, providing that expenditures for said fiscal year shall be made in accordance with said budget, and ratifying the end-of-year projection, fiscal year 2020 through 2021 budget, parens, Section 7 of the attached ordinance. City Manager, or Farrell Benavides, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to ask Ms. Jennifer to come up, and we have just a brief recap. We've had a public workshop, a public hearing, a presentation of it, and another town hall meeting. And so what we will do now is just give you a recap of what was included and what was stated last week. Jennifer?
Okay. So as you've seen, that our total revenues here, we're projecting at $63 million. Our total expenditures, these are operational expenditures, at $62 million. We have $6.6 million that is targeted to one-time fund balance expenditures, CIP projects, things like that. The things that are included into the proposed budget is a proposed tax ad valorem reduction of 0.016852, moving to 0.70 flat for the tax rate, 2% cost of living adjustment to all full-time and part-time employees. We have some new titles and adding 9.5 new positions, increasing minimum full-time pay to $15 per hour, added a code enforcement officer. We're not proposing to raise the water, sewer, drainage, garbage collections this fiscal year, but something we will be talking with you throughout this coming year. $11 million in target for capital improvements, and continued allocation for the P25 safety radio program. So that gives you just a quick high-level overview of everything that is in the budget. Just a snapshot here. You have this in your packet. In the budget document there, where it just kind of shows the total revenue and total expenses for every fund that you will be hopefully adopting this evening. So I won't go through every fund there, but all of the revenues in green and the expenditures in red. And as a reminder too, you will see some of these funds in the negative for the expenses over revenues, and that is because we are using fund balance, which we do have, kind of like our savings, that is covering these one-time projects, these CIP projects. And so this is, every fund that the city appropriates. And again, some of the revenues and expenditures that are referenced here are internal transfers from one fund to the other. So that is just a quick overview of our proposed budget.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sodi. We do have a motion in terms of the proper language that needs to be expressed for this to go forward, and that information is provided for you. The chair will accept this motion.
Mayor, I'd like to make the motion. I move the proposed budget for the city of Duncanville for fiscal year October 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2022, providing that the expenditures for said fiscal year shall be made in accordance with said budget be adopted. This budget will raise more revenue from property taxes than last year's budget by amount of $766,534, which is a 4.01% increase from last year's budget. The property tax revenue to be raised from the new property tax added to the tax roll this year is $47,977.
That is a motion. Is there a second? Mr. Harvey has second. Council, please vote. Thank you. The vote is 6-1, and the motion is passed. Moving on to item 2B, consider an ordinance levying ad valorem taxes for the year 2021 at a rate of 0.700000 per $100. Assessed valuation on all taxable property within the corporate limits of the city as of January 1, 2021, to provide revenues for current expenses and interest and sinking fund requirements, providing for due and delinquent rates together with penalties and interest. Ms. Farrell-Benavides.
I do not have a presentation here for you on the ad valorem taxes, but just as a reminder that the 3.88% increase in the tax rate is based on the calculation that the county provided to us on the no new revenue rate. The city tax that we are proposing of 0.7 is in fact a decrease to the current rate of 0.718.
Thank you very much. Council, there is a motion and the proper language is presented for you. Chair will accept a motion. Mr. Harvey?
I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.700000, which is effectively a 3.88% increase in the tax rate.
We have the motion. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Cooks. Council, please vote. We have a 6-1 vote. The motion is passed. Moving on to item 2C, consider an ordinance ratifying the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget, which raises more revenue from property tax than in the previous year. I presume Ms. Odie is up again.
Just a note on this particular ordinance, it is required to have a separate motion or a separate action, separate from the actual adoption of the budget and separate from the tax rate adoption. That is per the Texas Govt Code.
Thank you very much. The chair will accept a motion to approve.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve, second by Mr. Contreras. Council, please vote. Vote is 6-1. The motion is passed. Item 2D, consider an ordinance approving the fiscal year 2021-2022 master fee schedule, which is attached here too and incorporated herein as Exhibit A. Ms. Odie?
Nothing really to say on this one, but you do have the list of all of the master fees that we are proposing to update. You'll see that in your staff report. So these are all the master fees we will be implementing October 1.
And we have been provided that master fee schedule herein and provided previously as well.
Yes.
Chair will accept a motion to approve the fiscal year master fee schedule. Oh, yes? Mr. Cook's question.
The staff report, and I noticed that it's actually included in the agenda packet. If you'd like us to pull it out, we can, but all of these were included in the packet, and so I know a lot of folks, we didn't have a printout of them for everybody for the packet. So if you have your iPad, we can pull it up, or we can actually see if IT can pull the schedule up for each person to review. But it was in the agenda packet. That was.
You didn't pull it up? Were you saying yes?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, the only question I have here then, if that's the case, are we able at some point to go back and make an amendment to any fees if needed?
Yes,
throughout-
absolutely.
Throughout the fiscal year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I'm fine.
Okay. Chair will accept a motion to approve the master fee schedule.
I'll
Mr.
move to approve.
Contreras.
I'll
Motion.
second.
Second by Mr. McBurnett. Council, please vote. Unanimous approval of item 2D. Moving on to item 2E, take any necessary action as a result of the executive session. Turning to our city attorney from this, Mr. Hager.
Mayor and council, as a result of the executive session posted on tonight's agenda, I would ask the council to consider a motion to deny a claim for monetary relief for property located at 1726 Green Tree Lane, Duncanville, Texas, and to authorize the city manager and the city attorney to send the appropriate letter to the homeowner.
Thank you. Chair will accept a motion to approve. Or
Mayor.
will accept.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion. So moved as the
So
city
moved
attorney.
and
Yeah.
seconded by Mr. Harvey. Council, please vote. Item is approved unanimously. Thank you very much. Council and staff and citizens, that concludes our city council meeting for tonight. We are adjourned at 6:46. Thank you.
Thank you.